Hi YouTube, welcome back to our 67-day road trip around the US. If you're new here, my fiance and I embarked on a 67-day road trip across the US, with a cheeky little detour into Canada. We've already made it from Florida to California to Vancouver to Calgary, and now it's time for the final stretch. In this video, we're leaving Canada behind and starting to drive all the way back to Florida, zigzagging through brand new states, exploring the Midwest, and unlocking a ton of new gems along the way. So buckle up, the road trip isn't slowing down, it's only getting better. We left Calgary bright and early, hit the road, and before long we were crossing back over the border into the US. Our very first stop back, Montana, which means new state unlocked. And of course, that also means new Starbucks mug collected. Unfortunately, Montana ended up just being a bit of a drive-through state for us. We didn't have the time to stop and explore properly. Before we knew it, we were crossing the border again and rolling into Idaho, which means new state unlocked. And of course, that also means something else. And then we were quickly into our last state of the day. After a massive 15-hour drive, we were so ready to collapse for the night. We made it into Utah, a state that we'd already been to early on this trip, so no new state unlocked this time. But we were heading straight for Salt Lake City, which means new city at least. It also means Salt Lake City is best known as the center of Mormon culture, with stunning Salt Lake Temple and Temple Square right in the heart of downtown. It's a really unique city with a mix of history, mountains, and wide open streets. On a lighter side, it's also home to Swig, the famous soda shop that locals are obsessed with. We tried it while we were there and absolutely loved it. While we're in Salt Lake City, one of our highlights was definitely driving to the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's such a surreal place, this wide endless stretch of white salt that almost looks like snow. Super cool and unlike anywhere else we'd seen on the trip. Back in the city, we spent some time in Temple Square, which was really interesting to see up close. The architecture is beautiful and it's such an important part of Salt Lake's culture. And souvenir time! Let's go! While we're in Salt Lake City, we stayed at the Days Inn. It was a pretty simple spot, but honestly, after a 15-hour drive, all we needed was a comfy bed and a warm place to crash. And this did the job perfectly. And then let's get into the rankings. There are so many things we enjoyed about Salt Lake City, especially the Bonneville Salt Flats, but for this trip, we're going to have to rank it in 14th place. That said, Utah as a whole is genuinely one of our favorite states. From the landscapes to the national parks, it has so much to offer, and we'll definitely be back to explore more in the future. After wrapping up Salt Lake City, we hit the road again and crossed into Wyoming, which means new state unlocked. And you know what that means. So, a little bit about Wyoming. It's known for its incredible wide open landscapes, national parks like Yellowstone and Grand Teton, and of course that classic cowboy Wild West vibe. It's actually the least populated state in the US, which definitely explains all those huge empty stretches of road we drove through. We ended up in a little town of Rock Springs that night. It was really just a place to sleep and break up the long journey, so we didn't spend much time exploring, and because of that, Wyoming won't be getting a ranking this time round. But we still made time for souvenir time! Let's go! From Wyoming, we woke up bright and early and hit the road for a long drive towards Denver. It was really exciting because it meant that we were heading into Colorado for the second time on this trip. And you know what that means. On our way to Denver, we made a little pit stop in Vail. It's this gorgeous ski town, and even though we weren't there to ski, it was so fun to wander around, taking in the cozy lodge vibes and enjoying the snowy scenery. And we even managed to pick up a Starbucks mug for Vail. And then, as luck would have it, we also happened to come across something else. We didn't plan on this one, but sometimes the mug collection just finds us. We also made sure to have a little souvenir time. Let's go! From there, we made our way over to Denver to spend a couple of days exploring the city. Denver, also known as Mile High City, sits exactly 1 mile above sea level. It's famous for its stunning Rocky Mountain backdrop, vibrant arts and food scene, and being the gateway to some of the best skiing and hiking in the US. It's one of those cities that has the perfect mix of outdoorsy adventure and urban energy, so we were really excited to check it out. And we're in a new city, so you know what that means. While we're in Denver, we spent some time wandering around downtown, soaking in the city vibes. Also checked out a bunch of malls that the city had to offer, which was really fun for a little shopping break. While we were there, it even snowed, which made the city feel extra magical. Seeing Denver with the mountains in the background was just stunning. It honestly gave us a whole place such a unique vibe. Our time in the Mile High City was coming to an end, and do you know what that means? Souvenir time! Let's go! While we were in Denver, we stayed at La Quinta Inn and Suites, and honestly, it ended up being one of our favourite hotels of the whole trip. It was super comfortable, really nice inside, and just had a great vibe. After all those long drives and snowy adventures, it was exactly what we needed. And for the rankings, Denver is going into 11th place. It is such a cool city, and getting to see the snow falling and the mountains in the background was definitely the cherry on top. After leaving Denver, we crossed over into our next new state, Nebraska. New state unlocked. And you know what that means. Just like with Wyoming, Nebraska was more of a drive-through state for us. We only had one night there, and we stayed in Omaha, right in the old part of town, at the Magnolia Hotel, and it was actually really cool and a nice place to crash for the night. We spent a little time wandering around downtown Omaha, taking in old brick buildings and the cozy atmosphere before heading off the next morning to continue our journey. Since we didn't really get some time in Nebraska, we aren't going to be ranking it this time. But you already knew we picked up some souvenirs for souvenir time. Let's go! The next morning, we left Nebraska behind and crossed into Iowa, which means new state unlocked. And of course, that also means something else. From Iowa, we continued our journey south until we crossed into Missouri, which means new state unlocked. That also means something else. From there, we headed straight into Kansas City. Kansas City is famous for incredible barbecue, its jazz and blues music scene, and of course the beautiful fountains. It's actually nicknamed City of Fountains, with more fountains than almost anywhere else in the world outside of Rome. In Kansas City, one of the first things we did was to head over to Arrowhead Stadium, which was cool to see in person. And of course, if you know me, you know I'm a massive Taylor Swift fan, so we had to squeeze in many of the Taylor-related spots as we could while we were there. While we're in Kansas City, we also made sure to actually cross over into Kansas. New state unlocked. already know that that means a new Starbucks mug. And then it's souvenir time.
Let's go!
While we're in Kansas City, we stayed in the Super 8. It was a simple and budget-friendly stop, but it gave us everything we needed. Now let's get down to the rankings. We really love the spirit in Kansas City. I don't know if it's because the Chiefs are doing really well in the football season, but the whole city just had good energy. We really loved the vibes here, but when you stack it up against all the other cities on the trip, we really don't have a choice but to put it in 17th place. From Kansas City, we made our way across the state and headed over to St. Louis, which of course means one thing. St. Louis is such a cool city, sitting right on the Mississippi River and often called the Gateway to the West. Its most famous building is of course the Gateway Arch, which is actually the tallest man-made monument in the United States at 630 feet tall. It's known for its blues music and of course some amazing food, especially the roasted ravioli, which is a local favourite. In St. Louis, the first thing we had to check out was the iconic Gateway Arch, and yes, we even went all the way to the top. It was such a fun experience and the views over the city and the Mississippi River were incredible. Do you know that it can actually shake from side to side? And I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little bit seasick. After that, we spent a lot of time wandering around the city and soaking it all in. Honestly, we didn't really know what to expect from St. Louis, but we were so pleasantly surprised by how much we loved it. The city had a great vibe and way more to see than we imagined. And then, it's souvenir time!
Let's go!
While we're in St. Louis, we stayed at the Hyatt Regency St. Louis at the Arch, and honestly, it was one of the nicest hotels of the whole trip. The best part? We were literally right next to the Gateway Arch, so we could step outside and see it towering over us. It felt so cool being so close to such an iconic landmark. So let's get into the rankings. When it comes to ranking St. Louis, it's actually really difficult, because after visiting so many cities in the US, it's hard to compare them fairly. They had such different vibes and completely different things to offer. That being said, St. Louis is sliding into 19th place on the leaderboard. We woke up bright and early and hit the road, because today was going to be a long drive. We left St. Louis behind and crossed over into Illinois, which means new state unlocked. That also obviously means a new Starbucks mug. We drove all the way through Illinois, and before long we were crossing over into Indiana, which means a new state unlocked. And you already know, it also means a new Starbucks mug. And then, for the third time that day, we crossed over the border and made our way into Kentucky. Yep, a new state unlocked. And you also know what that means. After a massive day on the road, we made it to our fourth and final state of the day, Tennessee. That's right. New state unlocked. That also means a new Starbucks mug collected. From there, we drove all the way down to Nashville, and you already know what that means. Nashville, known as Music City, is at the heart of country music and home to the legendary Grand Ole Opry and the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's packed with live music venues, buzzing honky-tonk bars on Broadway, and the southern charm that makes the city so unique. While we were in Nashville, we made sure to check out the Grand Ole Opry, which was cool to finally see in person. We also hit up some outlets because you know we love a bit of shopping, but the majority of our time was spent right where Nashville really shines, on Broadway at the Honky Tonks. The energy here was incredible. Neon lights everywhere, live music spilling out of every bar, and just an amazing cowboy vibe. We also stopped at the Parthenon, which was really cool and interesting to walk around and see. Not something you'd expect to find right in Tennessee. And next to it, we had to track down Taylor Swift's bench, which was a fun little fan moment to tick off the list. Overall, we absolutely loved the vibes of Nashville. The live music, the lights, the cowboy energy, it just made it such a memorable spot. And now, it's souvenir time!
Let's go!
While we're in Nashville, we stayed at Sonder, this one called the Stat. It was such a cool place, it was stylish and comfortable and gave us the perfect base for exploring the city. Let's get into the rankings. Nashville was a really tricky one for us because it was a city we've been anticipating for so long. We were so excited to experience it, and honestly, it was exactly what we imagined. Iconic, full of music, and so much fun. So for now, Nashville is sliding into 9th place on the leaderboard. Last, but definitely not least, we made it into our final state of the entire trip. Georgia! And for the last time, new state unlocked. And you also know what that means. We're heading straight for Atlanta, our final big stop before our long journey back to Florida. Atlanta is one of the biggest cities in the South and is packed with history, culture, and entertainment. It's known for the birthplace of civil rights movements, home to Martin Luther King, and also a huge music and film scene. Fun fact, a ton of Marvel films were filmed here. We finally made it to Atlanta, so you know what that means. We really loved our time in Atlanta. There was just so many fun things to do in the city. We made sure to check out World of Coca-Cola, which was a really fun interactive experience. And yes, we tried way too many sodas. And of course, we couldn't miss the Georgia Aquarium, which is world famous. Honestly, it's one of the best aquariums we've ever been to. Beyond that, we just enjoyed the general vibes of the city. There's so much to see and do, but at the same time, it was really us taking in the fact that this was the last place on our road trip. A little bittersweet that we were wrapping up our whole time in the US. And then, souvenir time!
Let's go!
While we're in Atlanta, we stayed at the Micro Hotel Inn and Suites. It was a really great place to stay and super easy to get around the city. And when it comes to the rankings, we decided to put Atlanta in 14th place. And just like that, that's the end of our trip. We left Atlanta early on the last day and made our way back to Florida, which of course means new Starbucks mug collected. We left the US with 4 suitcases heavier, packed full of souvenirs and 17 new Starbucks mugs, and most importantly, so many memories. This trip truly was a dream. To spend 67 days driving across the country, seeing so many different cities, landscapes and experiences, and to actually pull it off without any major hitches. Well, unless you count a certain key that went for a swim in the Pacific, it still feels unbelievable. We're so thankful for every moment and for everyone who's followed along on our journey. But this isn't the end of our travels, not even close. Next up, we're taking you through our Asia trip. We explored some amazing countries and have a whole new set of adventures. This road trip across America and Canada will always hold such a special place in our hearts, and we're so glad to share it with you. Thank you for coming along with us.